Welcome back to Desktop Bodybuilding, and today I'm joined by the 212 winner at the 2019 Chicago Pro. I'm pleased to welcome Lloyd to the show. Mate, how you doing? Congrats on your win.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you having me on.
Man, it's my pleasure. Now, coming into this show, not many people had you pegged to win. I mean, a lot of talk was going around about Guy Sistonino, Zane Watson, and those guys. No one was really bringing up your name, so coming into it, were you coming into this show because you placed 12th in New York earlier in the year, and you obviously made huge improvements to jump 11 spots to win this show in what was a pretty tight, good 212 show. Were you surprised yourself at winning the show, or did you go in thinking I can win this?
Honestly, I went in knowing, or definitely feeling like I could be in a condition to win. Not knowing if I would be able to win, but I know I would be in shape enough to win, because I've been competing now for over 20 years.
Wow.
And I've beat a lot of guys, and it gives you a degree of confidence that you know what to expect from yourself. And I know guys that I've beaten over the years, even in the open class, that's never really got recognition for, that I've beaten. And even if you look at New York, it was so stacked where there was guys who either won a show this year or placed only in the top 5 that I beat even by placing 12th. So I knew if I bring it in a little bit better, I can. And also, like in New York, I came into the show 100% flat. I was 0 carb in order to make weight,
Wow.
and I didn't have no time to put carbs back in to hit the stage, because we weigh in at 7 and we compete round 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So this show still only gave me a very short period of time to put carbs in. That's why I came back better at night, which would be awesome for the Olympia, because it gives me time to actually bring my true potential to the stage.
Yep. Do you find one area of your physique flattens out more when you have to deplete?
Really, yeah, just a little bit of everything. Because if you see my workout videos, or even like some of my off-season videos, and you see I'm still in condition, but I have a certain roundness that is really, really popping, and I just don't feel like it's popping like it normally, would if I was carb loaded up.
Yep,
So
sure.
I think that's what I'm definitely lacking.
Now, you used to compete in the open class. When was the decision made that you're going to do 212 and try to battle it there?
So last year I hooked up with Jose Raymond as my coach, and
Cool.
Jose and I, we were talking in the beginning, and we were like, well, I think your best look is probably around the 220s, is which I turned pro at, is around 223. And he was like, I think that's your best look, but I'm looking at some of your pictures from when you were a light heavyweight, and you look big, and you were really, really shredded back then. And I was like, okay. But as the prep grew on, he kept making little comments. And I was like, dude, just tell me what's on your mind, because you keep saying stuff. He goes, well, I just say, let's go down to 212, and then all of us be at the Olympia together. Because he had a number of guys that was competing. His dream was for all of us to hit the Olympia together. And I said, well, if you believe in me and think that's what I can do, I trust in you, and let's do it. So last year, at the last minute, we decided to bring it on down, and we went to Chicago and took a 4th.
Yep. How does it feel? You're going to the Olympia. I don't believe you've gone to the Olympia before. Is that right?
Yeah, I've never even been just to watch. I've never watched it or anything, only on TV.
Wow. Wow, so it's going to be a massive new experience for you, because, even I've been to watch the Olympia once, and it's like actually going there, I was like, imagine if he's competing here. Like, even if you were someone in, last place in the men's physique, it would just be like a massive experience being one of the competitors going to the Olympia, and you're doing it. And actually, one of my friends is also doing it as well, that qualified in the 212, so you'll be up against him. So it's like, it's just, he's been talking to me saying like, look, I got the contract for the Olympia, like check this out. So I imagine you're going through all that now and all those feelings, but it's pretty surreal.
Yeah, I'm one of the type of guys too. I need to learn to step back and live within the moment and enjoy stuff, because it's hard for me to do that. Like, as soon as I left Chicago, I was right back on point. Like, say right now I'm doing cardio. I was up at 3 o'clock this morning doing cardio again. And so, I need to be able to live in the moment sometime and enjoy the moment. I did on stage. I was ecstatic on stage.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was time to go back to work,
Yeah. Do you feel like you're never really content? Or never, I suppose, happy with where you're at? You're always striving for extra?
always, because I played football majority of my life through college and a little bit after college. And so I was always that overachiever, where guys, I've never drank, never smoked, never really partied, went through school, never done any of that. And while they out partying or whatever, I'll be on the track getting in some conditioning. So I was always that guy, and I wasn't doing it to impress nobody, but just to satisfy my own self-need to know that I gave my all. And so that kind of carries over to bodybuilding. And I just work a little extra hard. Most of the time my coach has to back me down instead of tell me to work harder.
Yeah. It's always better to be that way than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I have clients and I always got to tell them to pick up the pace, they don't last long with me.
Yeah, for sure. So are you a personal trainer?
Yeah, I do personal training. I run a medical weight loss center at a doctor's office as well, so
cool.
Very versed in nutrition. And then, of course, I do contest prep. And I've been doing that since back when they had the first group of bigger competitors come in. Because when I first started, it was only men's bodybuilding, women's, and fitness. So I've been at it a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember even back in those days, like, I got into the sport when it was just, figure fitness, bodybuilding, and women's bodybuilding. And it's like, it's crazy to see how many classes there are now. What do you actually think of all the classes? Because your physique now sort of is like a bigger classic physique when I look at you, because you got that small waist, you've got those like big round legs and arms, like probably too big for the classic, but you sort of had that sort of look.
I love it because, I'm still one of those guys where, I'm a historian of bodybuilding. When I was a little kid, I had bodybuilders on my walls, Vince Taylor and, Sean Ray and Flex Wheeler, and go down the list. Those are my guys I've always looked up to. And so, when I see that, I can kind of see some of the old school, attention to it, like posing, for example. The attention they put to posing, like even at the show. What most people don't realize, like in Chicago, the judges worked us, like the first pre-judging, we went 6 minutes straight.
Yeah, I watched the video. It was a long, like they'd compare you, they'd move off someone around, compare you again. They worked you hard, which is I actually like to see.
Like I won't even say no names, but there were some guys when we came off stage, like they literally was passing out backstage. They were like, it was bad. And even myself, don't get me wrong, I was toast. If they told us to go back out, I'd have had to dig deep to find that extra energy, because they work us, which I love, because that's what the sport is about. It basically a real sport. And then when we came back in the afternoon, they said, look, we're going to rejudge this whole thing again. So let's start from scratch. And they probably worked us another 5 minutes. And then we had to come all the way back around and do our posing routine. And some of the guys that was supposed to go out before me didn't go out to last because they couldn't get it back together to go back on stage. And so when I see the videos going up, everybody's posting up from the show, they're showing stuff from the posing routine. And I'm like, I cut my posing routine in half because I was so exhausted from all the posing. And it's not showing the best version of me. And I'm like, why don't they show the lineup of me lined up with the guys when we actually going through it? Because then you see a better version. Because you might catch my stomach relaxing a little bit or something like that. And they go, well, look at how we looked. But the judges, man, were awesome. They really worked us really good. And that brought back old memories of how it used to be. They used to work us bad, man. They used to take pride in making us cry. It was awesome.
That's cool. So you obviously love the old school. Like, when did you get into bodybuilding and how old were you? Because, like, I can tell you love all those guys from the 90s and stuff. So I assume you probably grew up late 90s seeing these guys and being like, wow, that's what I want to look like, or that's why I want to get into bodybuilding.
Yeah, I started working out actually when I was 10 years old. I got my first weight set. And I was like most kids in the video games. I was in the magazines and bodybuilding. That was my obsession. And I played football up until 98. And then I went into bodybuilding in 99. And it's so funny because guys go, Lloyd, like a new guy or hasn't been around or whatever. I've been consistently competing every year since 99. Wow, 2 to 3 shows a year, and I haven't stopped. So when people say, and each year, I have even in the open, I would get some first call outs, and I place decent. But it's like my name I just didn't get highlighted or spotlighted, where it seemed like I just kind of got lost.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I've always been
And,
there.
and
I've
I,
always been there.
I noticed with your placings as well. I'm looking at it all. I'm like, you're in that really frustrating point in the opens, I guess, where you just outside that top group a lot of the time, where you're like right there. So it must have been frustrating for you, being like, oh man, like I could just need to get over these few guys and I'll be right there. So obviously you found your spot in the 212, because last year it says here on Muscle Memory you placed a fourth and a sixth. Then in New York you went back and got 12th, and then you're straight up and winning a show. I mean, I suppose like you've gone through all of this, and as a pro you've been placing outside that top group a lot of the time. It's got to feel so good to win a show. Like that's like I was thinking about this when I was looking into interviewing you. I was like, wow, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, it feels great because I mean I've been grinding. Like I mean, no matter how I think I'm a place, I always love bodybuilding because I enjoy being on stage. So I always give my all. So I look my best for the people. But now in the 212, I don't have to worry about like not dieting too hard because I don't want to lose a little bit of size because the guys are so big and they're open. So now I can just like diet my butt off, and because I'm because it does everything for me to take weight. So I just diet really really hard and try to be at my absolute best. Like for the Olympia, I'm gonna take it to a whole nother level from what they saw in Chicago, because I'm not taking my foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
And if there's any degree of conditioning I can squeeze out of my body, I will. And the difference is this time I got time to fill out.
Yeah, for sure. Now, everyone said the Chicago show was awesome, like it was run really well and everything. But one thing I did notice is the lighting didn't look the best, because I looked at most guys individually and I was like, oh, he's a little bit off, he's a little bit off, he's a little bit off. And I'm like, not everyone can be a little bit off. So I even noticed guys like, I looked at Zane Watson's Instagram and saw he was peeled to the bone. And then I saw him on stage. I was like, oh, doesn't look as peeled there. And that was the case for everyone. So that's got to be a little bit frustrating, I reckon.
Yeah, I see the pictures and I'm going, come on. I got to look at the pictures from the room when I sent Jose. And I'm like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
So, definitely it was a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, at least in the Olympia, you're going to get all the best photos, and it's going to be good lighting,
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm really excited because I know I can bring so much better. And Jose always tells me, he goes, with your shape, when we nail it, I don't care who you compete against, you're going to be very hard to handle. And I believe that. So I will be my best, and hopefully I'm hard to handle, and no matter what, I always tell people, it's always a win-win for me to be doing this as long as I am and to still be relevant in the sport. It's always a win-win, no matter what.
Yeah,
so,
sure. How many more years do you want to be competing for? And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I'm 46 now. And
you're young, 46.
and I don't know, like literally, I keep making gains. I stay injury-free, and I stay healthy. And like, I started doing a lot of things a lot later in my career. So I think that helps a lot too when it comes to supplementation and things. I used to get picked on a lot because here I am in my 30s and still haven't touched certain things. And guys are like, dude, you really haven't done anything yet. And I'm like, well, it's working for me. And I go through nationals and everything, and had the ability to stay away from certain things. So I think that kind of just prolonged my career, because I have a lot of guys, like, I turned pro with Justin Compton, and you see young guys like that who's come and gone, but not just him, it's been a lot over the years.
Yeah.
And I'm still plugging at it and feeling great at it. I think that's a blessing.
Yeah. Have you always been sort of more health conscious, or was it just that you'd never done it?
I've just never done it. Like I'm always at the doctor's office. I work at a doctor's office, and I always get my test levels and things checked, and my numbers are literally off the charts. I mean, where it's higher than what's can be read, and that's just what my body produces.
Wow.
So, like in the off season, when I'm just living like a normal person, my weight still jumps up to 270 just eating regular.
Wow.
So I got some benefits that I think are just God-given. So now that, we do everything the way we're supposed to do it, it just kind of just helps me along in the right areas, and I don't have to do as much as some guys probably do.
For sure, and I think as well, like a lot of the guys, well, some of them even anyway, have been more health conscious. Now we've seen, the passing of some of these top pro bodybuilders, like your Dallas McCarvers and the likes. I mean, it's been, I suppose, a bit of an eye opener for a lot of guys in the IFBB Pro League. Have you seen that, or do you think that maybe just a few guys have taken that into account?
Yeah, I think it put a scare in a little bit of everybody. I think because I know a lot of guys, it definitely either made them think about stop competing or just scared them. And I even heard somebody made a comment one time that the reason I moved to 212 is because I didn't want to do as much to try to stay in the open, which is totally not even a thought process. Never was the reality at all. It's just, it is what it is. But I understand, and it's true, because it's scary. Anytime you see a guy that should be in their prime, totally healthy, eating and doing cardio, doing all those things, and something happens to them, it puts the fear of God in you no matter who you are. If it doesn't, you're crazy. That's like even just somebody that doesn't compete, somebody in their 30s, and all of a sudden they have a heart attack or something, and you go, oh my God, this dude ran every day, he did everything. Oh my God, I need to go get myself checked now, because it just scares you. It's just a natural thing. But with bodybuilding, bodybuilding gives it a reason to say that's why it happened. So, they put a label on it. But it's no different than anybody else.
Now with the Olympia, where are you gunning for? Are you gunning for like a top 10, a top 5? Like, where do you want to, I suppose, obviously you want to place as high as you can, but where is, like, what's it a goal for you, I guess?
Honestly, I really haven't, like, set one in a sense. I just feel like I just want to be at my very absolute best. And if I do that, I think if we don't get caught up in names and any of that type of stuff, I always say if I get compared to somebody, I'm going to get compared to them, and they're going to have a problem. And so that's the only thing I want to do is if I can stand next to them and be compared, and then we'll let the best bodies sort itself out. That's the only thing I can think about. I try not to think about, other stuff that can go on. And so I'm just going to make sure I'm every bit of what I can be and make major improvements between now, because I made big improvements between New York and Chicago. So I know with 10 weeks, I can make even more improvements. And I just want to have a very good showing, no matter what I'm at, top to bottom. I want to have a great showing.
Any more shows before the Olympia?
No, that's it. I was going to do Tampa, but I think I really just want to drop the pedal and just focus on Olympia now.
For sure.
That'd be my third show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be sure.
Now, is there anyone you want to thank before you wrap this interview up?
Yeah, definitely. 100% definitely want to thank the Boston Mass, man, because, like I say, the Boston Mass kicks my ass, man. He's awesome. And, I thank my wife and all my friends and everybody here in Fort Myers and Cape Coral over Gulf Coast Fitness, man. We got a really good team here. Very, very family-oriented. We have a lot of IFBB pros in our gym.
That's cool.
It's a very, very strong bodybuilding area down here in Southwest Florida. So I definitely have to thank everybody, because everybody supports me. And, and that's pretty much it. And everybody else out there knows, that gives me all the positives that I need to keep me going.
Yep. Sure. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, mate. I really appreciate the interview. And we got it in while you're doing cardio, which is always shows your dedication, because you're probably like a busy dude, and I appreciate you getting on the show. So that's Lloyd Dollar, the winner of the 212 at the 2019 Chicago Pro. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on.